This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FI Investment Group and your host of Washington Review, where we interview leading voices from business and politics and the journalists that impact you, the viewer. Today, we are fortunate to have a guest from Kashmir, Irtif Lone. He's known as one of the startups ecosystem builder in Jammu and Kashmir. He played a pivotal role in shaping the J&K startup policy, which was officially adopted by the government in 2018. Irtif leads a group called the Kashmir Angels Network, a group of young boys and art girls who are creating bridges between angel investors and early-stage business houses, a first-of-its-kind initiative in the Kashmir Valley. He wears a lot of hats. Thank you for coming to our show, and welcome to our show. And I will start with one question. Go ahead and say something, and then we will start with the question.
Thank you very much for inviting me to your show. It's a privilege to be speaking to you today. I think it's kind of a dream come true to speak to you because I've read a lot about you, heard a lot about you. So today we are meeting virtually. I hope we can physically meet one day.
You should come and visit our house someday.
Definitely.
I'm going to see President Clinton next week.
Great.
So you are said to have facilitated the establishment of more than 100 business ventures in the Jammu and Kashmir region, and played a pivotal role in shaping the J&K startup policy. Would you be kind enough to tell us how we were about this development, and what kind of endeavor are you involved in it, and where are you going to take this startup system to the next level? And you're an expert. You're an expert on this, right? As I understand.
Not that an expert, still a student, but yes, of course, the kind of understanding of the ecosystem has been there for quite some time now. If we actually get to the context of how this culture kind of shaped in J&K for a reason is that the startup culture had started to boom across India around 2015 and 16 when India's startup policy came into place, and we as a state of J&K were asked to create a startup policy of our own. Also to tell you that I worked with the Entrepreneurship Development Institute of Kashmir, which was already focused on creating entrepreneurs across the length and breadth of Jammu and Kashmir, wherein we were trying to reach out to the people, not only in the cities, but also into the rural areas of J&K through which we could create an economical strength for these young boys and girls who could create their own ventures and set out to not only employ themselves, but also create employment avenues and opportunities for other young people around them. So that was the kind of
how many startups of company are there, and how much business, how many jobs have you created so far? I know it has been a long journey for you, but tell us a little bit about it.
Yes, I think if you talk about the institute I worked with, we created more than 15,000 enterprises
over that's a wonderful thing to do.
Over a period of a decade. And then eventually, but yes. But also one thing that I would like to factor out is that one of the major problems which used to happen with the entrepreneurs here was that the scale up option was very limited. They would create their ventures, set up a unit, and then maybe replicate one more unit like that. But then the scaling up of to a level where we today think of going to a national level or the global level was absent. So in that context, in that context, when the startup platform was provided, it gave us an opportunity also through the because the availability of the internet and other communication channels which were now open, it gave us a platform through which we could create enterprises which could have a global presence.
Well, that sounds like a great idea.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about the young people and their resilience against the various odds situation with regard to what's going on in Jammu and Kashmir. Do you believe the budding entrepreneurship count among one of the stories of these young people in Jammu and Kashmir?
Yes, of course. I think entrepreneurship is something which now a lot of young people are taking up to and trying to create certain kind of ventures which not only see their place in J&K, but across the country and globally as well. We have had few of the success stories which have created certain kind of a benchmark for a lot of people to replicate and to see that we are able to reach to a certain level where our youngsters not only think of the government jobs, but they also think about creating these ventures. But of course, the set of problems which we have faced are facing in the economical health of the state or the UT per se. But eventually, I think this is coming up in a real nice way, and a lot of people are trying to join this fray and creating these enterprises. As on date, we have more than 700 startups which have been registered. By startups, I'm focusing on the organizations, the small organizations which are trying to build something which is very scalable and innovative in the region of Jammu and Kashmir. Otherwise, there are hundreds and thousands of enterprises which have already been created and are being supported by a lot of people across J&K.
So explain to us a little bit about what kind of business they're in. Mostly IT business, or the startup business includes just about any business you can think of.
Mostly, it is any of the businesses, but if we go a little deeper into it and try to understand the economy of J&K, it has been built on a couple of sectors,
All right, right.
pertinently the handicraft and handloom sector,
That's what,
the
and you are
tourism
executive
sector.
director for that, right?
Yes, the tourism sector and the horticulture sector, they have been kind of the three backbones of the J&K's economy, which
So
has
the
survived, which has been
economy is dependent on the what do you say? On three things: tourism. What's the other one was?
tourism, handicraft, handloom, and horticulture.
Okay.
They are the traditional sectors which have kept the economy of J&K going, and a lot of people associated with these three avenues, with these three sectors for creating a lot of job opportunities and economic opportunities for the people across. So I think these are also becoming the basis of the startups and the intervention of the lot of technology that is happening right now. Like if we talk about the horticulture sector for long, uh, the orchards which were created would take a long
Right.
time
Right.
to get to create, to make fruits and then to a certain level. But today you have high density apples which can be produced after you plant these trees in 2 years or itself. They
Wow.
can start
I
producing
love
the
good
fruit.
apples. So you produce a lot of good apples?
Yes, yes. We are largest producers of apple in the country. And I think the competition only comes from the Washington, from the United States.
But we have a big, we are the largest country in the world, you know, with it, and we produce a lot of apples. Our
Yes,
climate is,
yes,
so tell me a little bit about your Kashmir Angels Network. Is this a private network?
yes,
Is this
exactly.
related to the angel investor? And who's the founder of the Kashmir Angels Network? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, Kashmir Angel Network is actually a network of a lot of people who came together with this idea that we have to do some kind of work to create an ecosystem for the startups. I think one of the issues that I personally faced while I was leading the JNK startup policy was that whenever we had a startup come in and he would want even a couple of lakh of rupees because he was bootstrapping, we'll have to depend on the investors from either from Delhi or Mumbai, and they were also very kind enough to fly to this place and then invest in few of the startups.
Very
But
nice.
eventually, we also realized that the problem is that we eventually have these startups eventually have to go to the venture capital firms. But where is the bridge which we can be created between these startups until they reach to the venture capital firm? The kind of money, the small amount of money they need to scale up to a level where they could pitch their ideas to the bigger firms and get much more investments into their ideas. So that is where this idea of Kashmir Angel Networks actually came in.
Okay.
A few people came together and they said that they wanted to do. There were a couple of people who were working somewhere else. They wanted to concentrate on this, and today it has a office running in Srinagar at Jawahar Nagar with more than around 10 people full time working there, trying to create certain kind of an edge for these startups, trying to connect them to the various programs which are happening
That's
across
nice.
the country, and also to the network of investors who are ready to invest into these startups, whatever small amount is required, and then to the
So,
larger networks of investments. Yes,
so the purpose of the Kashmir network is to attract the investors, right?
yes,
And to
yes,
make sure the investor can invest in the startup businesses
yes,
in Kashmir. And
exactly.
and the startup, how much money do I know it will cost a lot of money, but some people who are willing to give a little bit of money can help them.
Yes, of course, of course. We have had investments as low as 3 lakh rupees. People invest 3 lakh rupees in a startup and it's able to scale up to a certain level.
Oh,
And then
very
eventually
nice.
it is then connected to a venture capital firm. But one of the very important factors is also that while creating this ecosystem, we also try to connect to a lot of mentors, a lot of non-resident Kashmiris who are living across the globe and are working in various organizations at certain levels. They also spend some time with these startups, telling them how to go global, how to have that kind of an effect so that you can come out of the competition not only within the state but at the national or the global level. I think that is very important while you talk to these startups and try to mentor them.
So do you try to work with the people who are the diaspora from the Jammu and Kashmir in the United States?
Yes, of course. Yes, we do.
So let me talk to you a little bit about the export of Kashmir's heritage of handicrafts and handlooms. I think you're the executive director of that. Do you
Executive
believe the
manager.
business has recovered from the tough years? Is the U.S. a major export destination for its goods?
Of course, as I said, handicraft and handloom sector is one of the major economical sectors within JNK, and more than 3.5 lakh artisans are associated with this particular
What did that
sector.
translate into thousands, hundred thousands, lakh? We don't understand lakh.
Uh,
That'll be the hundred
point,
thousand.
yes, 300,000.
Okay, very well. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
So that is again one of the major sectors. So eventually, also, while you talked about the numbers, the figures, the exports that have been happening, of course, US is one of the bigger markets for handicraft and
And
handloom
what do you
products from
sell? What
JNK.
do you sell to United States? Uh,
We sell carpets, we sell shawls, pashmina,
carpets are silk carpets or the wool carpets? Both.
both, both,
Okay.
yes. And shawls, pashmina, kani,
Oh,
sozni.
pashmina is the best. My wife's an American. She has something like several hundred of these, and they come from the mountain goat.
Yes, it's in Ladakh. Changtha is a place
Right.
where these goats are reared. And from there, the wool comes, and the process of all this wool happens in Kashmir. Various
Oh,
clusters which have been created individually, the artisans work on this wool and then create this uh, very pleasing to see pashmina shawls, which have a lot of embroidery on them,
oh
and
yes,
which
yes, yes.
which can
Maybe
cost
maybe
anything.
you and I can get that kind of a product into United States. I'm not into
Yes.
business. Uh,
But of course, that thing can be explored definitely.
so
And
there are
of course,
reports. Go
mhm,
ahead. Go ahead.
yeah, America being one of the major markets, then Europe and the United Arab Emirates is
So
the another
UAE,
major
you
market.
also go to
Yes,
Abu Dhabi and Dubai and Gulf countries as well.
yeah, yeah, yes.
Well, they are the best. The pasmina. It's called pasmina. Did I get it right?
Pashmina, yes,
Oh, they
Pashmina,
are
yeah,
the best. They're so silky and so well done that my wife loves it.
of course, yeah.
And everywhere she goes to the White House, we have been there several times, and the president said, "I like it." So let's talk about the resurgence of tourism to Kashmir. What's your
Yes.
assessment of tourism impact on business, entrepreneurship? Is tourism getting better? Is it safe for the people, for the Americans and Indians, or for any foreign
Of
countries?
course. Of course, I think there's a huge surge in the tourism activities, especially after the COVID. I think
Okay.
a lot of people are traveling to this part of the world, And as you know, we recently opened up the tulip garden for this year. More than
You have a
uh,
tulip that comes from Holland, and
yeah, yes,
tulip
yes,
came from
garden.
Ottoman Empire, from Turkey.
Yes.
Okay, I
So
just want to know it's not Dutch. It's the Ottoman that they established. This is what the
okay,
Ottoman
I didn't
Empire
know
from
that.
Turkey. They're the one who established the tulip, and then they came to Holland. Go ahead.
I didn't know that part, but of course, the floriculture department from here had went to Holland when they were trying to set up this
Right.
tulip garden in Srinagar, and this was recently opened. Already, lakhs of people have already thronged the gardens to see these flowers coming up, and now the season is building up because the spring is already here. Last year, we have had the tremendous number of tourists which have come from across the globe, and this year we are expecting many more tourists to come. And there has also been a lot of activity with regard to the startups in this. A lot of homestays have been created for the people because the infrastructure also needs to be developed to a certain level so that more and more tourists can be accommodated within these spaces. And also, there are lots of other places which have still not been identified and put on the tourism map. Of course, there are a couple of them which are very famous, but there are many other places which are much more pristine and beautiful which are yet to be explored, and a lot of people are trying to do that as well.
So,
Not to take away the ecological balances. We don't want to have that kind of a
so it's
issue
a
as well, of
sustainable.
course.
It's a sustainable business.
Yes, yes. Trying the movement towards it is that we want to create it as sustainable business. Of course, there are certain problems, but that is something which is being taken care of very well at this point of time.
I want to talk to you about the Aligarh Muslim University. As you know, we have a relationship with them because we have a management complex named after me, Frank Islam, and my wife Debbie.
Yes,
Debbie's last name is Idrisman. And
yes, I read about that.
do you think the Aligarh Muslim University can help in nurturing a startup culture in Jammu and Kashmir? If so, tell us a little bit about your interest at AMU. Have you been there?
No, I have not been there, but I once applied for studying there, which I couldn't go for appearing in the entrance test though.
So
But
you were not able to qualify.
no, I was not able to go and sit in the entrance test, which was there.
Okay.
So yeah. But of course, it's a big name. We all have known right from our childhood, Aligarh Muslim University, and it was always a dream that sometime we have to go there. I have not been fortunate enough to visit the place yet, but I'm sure I will do that very soon. Of course, we are collaborating with a lot of organizations across India and globally as well. It would be a great pleasure to collaborate with Aligarh Muslim University, which is such a great name, and I'm sure they're doing a lot of work in creating these startups and creating a startup ecosystem that would be a lot of help to the entire startup ecosystem within J&K, not only for capacity building and for bringing the mentors who could help these young startups to reach from one stage to another, and also trying to create a network for these startups to understand the level of competition that exists across the country and the globe and globally as well.
So if you have an interest in establishing a relationship with the Aligarh Muslim University, I went to my all siblings went to school there. They all live in the United States now. They're doctors, engineers, and business owners. And
Right.
and also the fact is that we have given $5 million. So we know the vice chancellor we know just about everybody there. But if you have an idea and thoughts that you want to establish the relationship between Aligarh Muslim University Business Management Complex, which bears our name, and I would be more than happy to get your proposal and what your thoughts are to them, to Aisha Chaudhary, and she's the dean of the Faculty of Management Studies, and also Parvez Talib and some other people as well.
That would be great. That would be great. We'll definitely try to figure out the main points, how we would like to collaborate with them, and the kind of help we would like to take from them. And it would be great if you help us connect.
Well, I will connect to you, but I need a little bit of understanding what you're looking for. So I need a little bit
Definitely.
of, and then I will
Yeah. We'll
connect
we'll
you with.
create
Go ahead.
we'll create a document around it, and then we'll share it with you, and then accordingly we can go ahead with the proposal that we intend.
Are you on what apps?
Huh?
What apps?
No.
So you're on LinkedIn, but not on what apps? What apps allows you to?
WhatsApp. Yes, I'm on WhatsApp. Yeah.
So can you send me the your WhatsApp's number, and I will connect you with Aisha Chaudhary. She's the dean, and Pervez Talib, the two
Yes,
people.
definitely. Do I send it on the link
Send
here
it to me
or?
on my email.
Okay. Yes, I have your email. I'll send it.
Okay. So this is. Thank you. Do you have anything else to say, Irtif, before we close our conversation?
It's great pleasure talking to you. I hope we can talk again sometime soon. Probably when you come to Srinagar or I come to Washington, we definitely meet and understand
Well,
much
if I
more.
go to
It's a
Jammu
lot
Kashmir,
more
there'll
to
be a
learn
lot of
from you.
security detail for me. There'll be a lot of
Yes.
security because we have a lot of security at our home. So you can help us with that, right?
Definitely.
So this is thank you for watching. This is Frankenstein wishing you a great week, and thank you very much.